Nigeria's main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, is still not sure where to pick its next flag bearer for the presidential election in 2023. Before now, it was insinuated that the party may zone its presidential ticket to northern Nigeria and therefore pick the national chairman from the south in its national congress scheduled for October. But the optics so far appears not to be in support of that decision. This may have influenced its zoning committee, which met in Enugu during the week, to postpone its meeting as the committee could not reach a resolution on a new zoning arrangement for the party. The meeting ended at about 7 p.m. on Thursday. Joining us now to look at issues in the PDP, both at the national and Lagos state, is a former governorship candidate in the state who is also aspiring as chairman of the party in Lagos, Dr. Adetokunbo Pearse. Dr. Pearse, you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Well, good morning. Good to have you.
Good morning.
PDP has been in the news for some time, but I mean, since Thursday, it's been about the issue of zoning. What is your reading of what is going on at the national level? Could it be that because the last president produced by the PDP came from the south, it looks like, you know, there are underground moves to now take the ticket to the north against, if you like, what people would say the mood of the nation? You know, what is going on? What should we expect, you know, from this one zoning committee and then the entire party itself?
I think that the reason why you have such discussions and delay must be because of the point you made about the mood of the country.
Yes.
And the discussions going on in the APC.
Yes.
It sounds very popular that we should have a southern president because the guy from the north has messed up so badly, partly for that, and partly because they had agreed in the APC that after 8 years of Buhari, yes, that the presidency will come to the south. But that's an APC arrangement. But the mood of the country, yes, is such. I have friends, professors of political science, who tell me that this thing must come to the south or the president. So, but I think what's going on in the PDP is they're looking at the reality of the situation in the party itself. Don't forget that this issue of zoning is not a constitutional issue. It is something that the PDP adopted by itself, and the APC borrowed from it. And if you look at it, the argument for a southern presidency, a president in the PDP, in my own opinion, does not really hold water. It's not very valid because since 1999, this political dispensation, the South has had the presidency in the PDP for probably 12 of the 14 of the 16 years, for 14 years, you know.
From Obasanjo and Jonathan.
Obasanjo 2 terms, Jonathan
kind of
1.5 of those 2 terms. And you know, so when you look at all of that, the only person that's been between is the late Yaradua.
Yeah. Really.
And he wasn't even there for a full term.
No.
You understand? So in the PDP, that argument doesn't make sense. You know, the fact that the APC wants to zone it to the south, even they are having problems with that decision. They haven't decided fully, have they?
Well,
it's a process.
It's the process.
They're still talking about it.
So that shows you, but that's why the discussion is being kind of dragged on in the PDP. But in my own opinion, eventually,
yes,
I think that the presidency will be zoned to the north in the PDP because we are arguing that the Southwest in particular has never had the opportunity to be the national chairman of PDP. You know, everybody's had it, Southeast, South, North several times. So on that basis, we think that eventually the zoning will go that way, the presidency will go to the north, and the national chairman will come to the south.
You will personally be comfortable with that sort of arrangement?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
as a Southwest PDP member, you'd be comfortable with just having the chairman of the party rather than, say, a Southern candidate, for the position of the president?
I would be comfortable with that. I think it's fair, as I said, because the presidency has been here for a longer time than in the North. Also, strategically, I think it's better for the PDP that they will likely win. And something about this zoning, personally, whether it's a Southerner or a Northerner, to me what's most important is the plan that the candidate has, the caliber of candidate we have for the country. And trust me, I know I'm a member of the PDP. Everybody expects me to promote the PDP. But where we are now in this country, we need a reformer. We need somebody who believes in restructuring this country. Otherwise, we're not going anywhere. So, the PDP candidates as a party, the PDP has been promoting this idea of restructuring the country. Not just talking about it, but people who have been involved in doing things and discussing and understanding fully what it means. I'm fully committed to it. It is not something that benefits the North or the South. It benefits everybody. Imagine where we are now if you don't diversify the economy, which is one of the major factors of the problems we have in the country, and one of the major arguments for restructuring. We keep depending on oil. And we are not going anywhere with oil. It's not enough money coming from oil. And we have resources galore in Nigeria. Ondo State, Ondo geopolitical zone, Southwest, is sitting on the third largest deposit of bitumen in the world. And by Constitution of 1999, we can use it. The Southeast, the Enugu Junction, is sitting on the 9th largest deposit of natural gas in the world. In the North, you have phosphate, you have bauxite, you have uranium, you have copper, you have all sorts of minerals, but it's locked up in the exclusive list by this Constitution. So we need a president that would actually deal with this issue. And then the other issue of devolution of powers, which is part of this argument. Imagine if a state, they enact a law. They cannot enforce the law. That's why